welcome back to another M&S tutoring video, and in this video we're going to be learning about the greenhouse effect. So the greenhouse effect is the trapping of the sun's heat in the atmosphere, and the greenhouse effect is the main culprit for global warming, as well as the main factor that leads to the increased amount of radiation within the earth. So what is what is the greenhouse effect, and how does it have an impact on the earth? Well, for us to know that, we need to know where all the sun's energy is going and how the greenhouse effect is actually caused. Well, the greenhouse effect is caused by something as simple as the sun's energy flow. So the sun emits a lot of sun ray and a lot of energy towards the earth. About 51% of that energy that the sun orbits into the earth is absorbed by land and water, right? About 51% of it goes towards land and water, right? About another 30% of that energy doesn't even get to the earth's surface as well. It is reflected back into space. 30% of it is reflected, right? For those of you who don't know, there is an atmosphere around the earth, and the atmosphere not only allows only specific things to get in, but a lot of the sun's energy is reflected back into space due to the Earth's atmosphere. So about 30% is reflected. And this is the actual harmful one. About 19% of it, right, is actually absorbed by the atmosphere and the clouds. So about 19% is absorbed by clouds, right? Now, what happens when this 19% of the sun's energy is absorbed by clouds is that most of that energy cannot go back out into space, as it is trapped due to the atmosphere of the Earth. Well, what causes this atmosphere on Earth? Well, it's this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's the CO2 in the atmosphere, right? What CO2 does is it causes the atmosphere to be a lot more dense, right? And when the atmosphere is a lot more dense, what happens is it allows a lot less things to escape, right? And when this happens, a lot of the heat is actually brought in to the Earth's atmosphere, but not a lot of heat can get out. It's kind of trapped within the Earth's atmosphere. So what happens when there's a lot of heat trapped inside a small, um, a small, a small space? What happens is temperatures start to rise. There's a sudden increase in radiation, as a lot of the sun's energy has a harmful impact on the Earth. So a lot of the sun's energy is good, but it's also really bad because there's a lot of trapping of heat inside the atmosphere. Well, as I mentioned before, the greenhouse effect was a big cause of global warming, which is the rise in temperatures, and this is exactly the case because since a lot of heat is trapped in the atmosphere, the greenhouse effect really causes the temperatures to rise, icebergs to melt, large ice sheets being, broken down right before your eyes. And that's the simple cause of the greenhouse effect. And to potentially stop this, we need to reduce the amount of carbon emissions. Carbon emissions are really bad, as they not only contribute to the greenhouse effect, but they also pollute the air and the environment that we actually live in. So carbon dioxide should be limited in the atmosphere to, help a lot of the heat and temperature rises in the atmosphere. So that's been my video, guys, on the greenhouse effect. It was a fairly short video because there was not much to talk about, as the greenhouse effect is really quite straightforward. A cool experiment to try at home is called the water bottle smoke experiment. So what you do is you put a matchstick inside a water bottle and then you close the lid. What will eventually happen is the atmosphere, or the water bottle in this case, will become really smoked up and you'll not be able to see the matchstick anymore. And this is a really good demonstration of what the greenhouse effect really has to offer, or what the greenhouse effect is really doing to the atmosphere. And the water bottle is kind of like the Earth's atmosphere, as it's really trapping all of that heat inside due to the CO2, which is, in this case, the heat from the match. So that's a cool experiment to try at home. Other than that, if you have any comments or concerns, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As always, thanks for watching, guys.